I'm here at track day at a very drizzly Goodwood Circuit, catching up with an old friend of mine, Richard Hammond, who's got bored of being the team principal for the smallest cog and has decided he wants to get his hands on the merchandise. He's a bit rusty, so's his car. What could possibly go wrong? Richard has come down to Goodwood today with his good friend Patrick Blakeney-Edwards to get some seat time on one of his classic race cars to try and make a decision about reviving the smallest cog race team. Will he leave today with his racing passion reinvigorated, or is cog racing consigned to the history books? You've picked a nice day for it.
Yeah, I didn't choose the best one. That was out of my control, I know. I have never driven Goodwood.
Ever?
No.
It's fast.
Yes, so I gather. This is, what's great is, because I'm doing this more for real than for TV, I'm having to think about it, and I'm realising, how have you not killed me? Like, punched me to death? Because over the years, you've sat in the car with me a few times, but I'm always in driving for TV mode, and it's completely different to driving on a racetrack, for real, isn't it?
Well, I always felt for you because when we were doing TV stuff, you were never given any time. No. And I'm not sure that much has changed, but you'd be thrown in. I think Brick Car, you arrived for the qualifying session. No stress, no pressure. You'd never been around the Grand Prix track before. No. Everything you drive, it's always like, right, just get in and go. Yeah. I hope you get a bit of time to acclimatise today and learn the place, because actually it's a rewarding track. But
also the skills. I mean, I've been talking to people already. I've never really stopped and thought about how I go on the brakes. What happens when I come off the brakes and how I come off? I never thought that. I knew it. I know all these things by rote because it's what we all stand around and talk about. Yeah, I'm on the telly and I know how you come off the brakes is as important as how you go off them. Is it? Why? I don't know, a bloke told me once. But when you think about it, you loaded up the springs and all that energy comes out. Oh, I see. So it's after 30 odd years of messing about with cars, I'm finally thinking about it.
Yeah. Plus, you ride bikes, which means you're much closer to the ground. You know you make a mistake, and that sensitivity. To the ground anyway. Yeah, and I think you've got the sensitivity for it. Well, I hope you have a great time. I think with this track, the only advice I give you is that it is fast, and even though you're down the straight, there are no straights. There's always a kink, and something is over a crest. But you've done enough, and you have a good feel.
I thought our old Grand Tour track was the only one that had a straight that wasn't straight.
The Ebola.
Yeah. I didn't realise this
None of it's straight. No. Everything's on the move.
Right.
So you just got, so sometimes they say the grass creeps up on you. I think you just watch your
Ben,
edges.
am I going to break his incredibly valuable car?
No. It can't be that valuable anyway.
Otherwise you wouldn't lend it.
I think so. It's a bit of that.
Would you lend me your car?
I would. I would.
Okay, all right.
I've got the van. It's just out the back.
Are you having a nice day in Mooch van?
I am. And actually, he's going to let me out in that crazy German touring car.
CSL?
Yeah. The Batmobile, which I think
You're going out in that?
Yeah. Shortly after you go out.
Today?
I'm going out, yeah. Hopefully you're going to dry a line for me. But yeah, that'll be spicy. That's got a lot of power.
See, you've done it again, spicy.
That one
you mean
spicy.
Terrified? Really horrible?
Yeah.
That's just an absolute animal of a thing. Oh God, that's terrifying.
It's a bruise. It is a bruise.
I'm scared just standing next to it. I don't think I'd ever be brave enough to drive.
I don't have to drive it fast. Just drive it. Just drive it. Take it round a few times.
Well, good luck.
Try and behave.
Right. Well, neither of us are going to crash anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you afterwards, and hopefully it goes well.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
Enjoy.
I'm not nervous. No.
Having attempted to give Richard a little boost to his confidence, I decided to check out what it is he's going to be driving and have a chat with its owner, Patrick, to find out more. Patrick, is this your pride and joy? You've got a few cars, but...
Got a lot of cars, but yeah, this is the old Slipper, the one that we've lent to everybody over time. It's been raced by lots of different people. It's a very, very capable Austin Healey 3000. Got about probably 240 odd horsepower. Yeah. Straight six engine. Pretty rudimentary suspension, quite soft by nature, so they tend to be quite good in the wet, which is obviously
great. So it's fairly forgiving.
Fairly forgiving.
You're going to let Richard Hammond drive this, so...
Yeah, but I have warned him, even in the dry, with an Austin Healey, you spend more time, when you're going forwards, you spend more time looking out of the side window than you do the windscreen. Yeah. They're incredibly agile.
It's a proper little rocket. So this is 1960s, isn't it? So in the era, it's like a GT car, raced at Le Mans, with less power than the likes of your Jaguar. Yeah. But like you said, the agility is what...
And reliability, they were robust. I mean, this particular car didn't race at Le Mans. Yeah. But a couple did. I can't actually remember how well they did. I think they did pretty well. But one of the things that we're famous for was getting to the end of races because, you know, it's good old Austin, a collaboration between Austin and Donald Healey. And they just engineered something that was relatively cheap to make, but really robust. And then as soon as the competition people, a little bit like the Minis, they discovered they handled well, they went to town on them and made them go.
Well, that looks like a lot of fun. I have noticed something there that really caught my eye for various reasons. The bright orange BMW Batmobile.
Yeah, you can't really miss it, can you?
Well, no.
You know it's my favourite car of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
More than this, the E-Type?
Oh, close call, but without a shadow of a doubt, the car that I coveted when I was a child, and actually right the way throughout my life, was with BMW CSL Batmobile.
Yeah.
And through various sort of quirky circumstances, I've ended up owning this car, which is a period Group 2 racer, driven by all of the German greats at all of the European Group 2 touring car races. And it's real, run by Alpina and Schnitzer. You'll feel its integrity as soon as you sit in the seat and get behind the wheel. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Time warp.
It's a time warp thing, and lovely to drive. It's got quite a lot of power, but the handling, even on a day like we have here at a drizzly Goodwood, the handling's pretty good. In fact, I appreciate your feedback. We're going to stick some wets on it.
Thank you.
Because I think you're going to need them.
Spoil me.
Well, it's more about protecting my car rather than you, if you know what I mean. And
they don't look like the deepest treads, but I'm happy with that. And also, you have got some wings on the back, so that should give me some support. So
a lot of air.
All right, well, thank you. I will bring it back in one piece.
Lovely.
But you're very trusting, and really, I can't wait. I've always wanted to drive one of those, so thank you.
Fill your boots.
All right. There's always an eclectic mix of cars at Goodwood from all over the world, from America, Europe, single-seat closed wheel. I'm definitely going to have a little nose around, talk to a few of the owners, a few interesting people here as well, try and get some stories. Now this is a proper weapon, a Lola Can-Am car raced by none other than Sir Jackie Stewart. And it may not look that ferocious, but this series was really, really wild racing, very high speed. In the back of there's a Chevy V8 engine, probably knocking out around sort of 450, 500 horsepower. Lola really were pioneering sports car technology back in the day. It's hard to believe they've gone into liquidation. I've raced their cars in single-seaters and around Le Mans. In the 60s, it was one of their many heydays, and would have been amazing to have watched Jackie in period wrangling this thing. No power steering, just all organic. Foot, throttle, brakes. Sensational car. Matt, great to see you. What is this? Your British touring car. Now you're in old cars. What's going on?
Slightly different. It's a Ford Lotus Cortina, which is a bit of a homologation special for racing in the 1960s, mid-60s. So this is a 1965 Lotus Cortina. Yeah, wheel driven through the back. Unlike the front-wheel drive touring cars.
Very small. Can you fit in it? Because, you know, you're the world's tallest racing driver.
If you hang around, you'll see me in a Mini later, which is really the biggest guy in the littlest car, which is even better.
Perfect. So what's this like? Got tiny wheels.
We have to run on classic tyres, which is part of the rules, which Dunlop do original tyres on it. And they take a little bit of getting used to and learning. So it slides a lot. It moves around a lot, but the racing's spectacular and really good.
You've driven lots of cars. What's the balance like when you hop in this thing? Does it feel pretty intuitive, or do you think it's got a lot of vices?
It doesn't bite you, but you've got to be pretty committed in it. You know, it does move around a lot. When I jumped out of a modern car into one of these, my mind just erupted. It was like, what have I done? What am I doing in one of these? Yeah, but it's just seat time getting into it and understanding it.
So when you say moves around, it's twitchy, but I mean, you used to race front-wheel drive touring cars, which are notoriously awful. When they're on cold tyres, you know, you set them up, the tail is going everywhere. I mean, it's an absolute box of frogs. So for you to say that this is challenging, that, you know, makes me wary.
These things understeer, oversteer, you know, the whole classic scene, the car's moved around a lot more. I think there's a lot more driver input needed. A modern car, you know, you've driven them, you don't want to slide them.
Yeah.
You do end up sliding them a bit, but you want to be on that just a critical edge, when sliding's a lot more prevalent in one of these.
Interesting, so it's quite a juggle. So you're going to go out now in the rain and show us how that's done, yes?
Yeah, and they can even this little thing will be lighting the wheels up in a straight line down the straight, so it's pretty entertaining.
Brilliant. I can't wait to watch you do it. All right, well, entertain us. We'll try and catch it on camera. Thank you.
Good to see you. Cheers, Ben.
It's It's been a while since I've driven around Goodwood, so I thought it might be wise to jump into the sim and remind myself of the track and where it goes. What could possibly go wrong? Oh dear. Oh my lord, getting backwards already. Right, I won't show Hammond this lap before I go out. It's quite a delayed response though. It's a little bit softer than real life, I think. Maybe it's just because I haven't driven a 60s Mustang recently. It's quite wallowy. So it's not very direct response and feedback. I suspect that the BMW would be a bit more... I'm just mowing the lawn again. I can't do this and talk at the same time. I'm absolutely rubbish at this. With practice completed successfully, I wished Richard good luck and waved him off for his laps in the Austin before gearing up to jump into the BMW.
Thinking about how I come off those brakes.
Here we go, onto the Goodwood track. Even high on my mirrors, I'm looking out for Richard Hammond, who might be bearing down on me in the Austin Healey. It probably would be okay if it was dry, but it's got such a tendency to walk around without me putting any steering input at all. There's no way I'm going to trust this thing in the race. There must be some strange things going on underneath here. Braking on this car is pretty good. Straight line, under braking. I don't feel like I'm going to die. As soon as I get the power on, power is amazing by the way. Sounds beautiful. That's when things start to get a little bit cheeky around the steering area. Even when I'm doing 100 miles an hour. But it's a great car, really cool platform. Just imagine getting behind this for 24 hours, such a versatile machine from touring cars to long distance racing. Woo! Intense little car. So first time at Goodwood, so how was that?
It's awesome. That's one of the first times in decades of messing about in cars I've been thinking more about the driving and the car and the track. I came close at one point to remembering how the lap went.
It's a funny place, isn't it? Because there's a lot of corners where you approach, there's a kink. It's beguiling.
And there's no straight.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, Ben, I really loved it, and more than anything else. And that's why I was doing this. It was about reconnecting with it and to see if it triggered me and fired me up to get more involved for the workshop. It did, because I've never felt that involved with the car. I tell you the biggest difference. I was going slower as anything. You will have seen. Hey,
didn't look it to me. You looked like you were getting on.
But I was going slowly, but whilst doing it, thinking, I think I'm doing this right. Never had that. I thought, oh no, of course I could up the pace, but I was doing it right. It's a wet day. If it weren't a wet day, I would have started to push the pace a bit. And next time, who knows, maybe I will. But knowing that, I'm actually thinking about this. I'm thinking about clipping points, and I'm thinking about how I'm going on off the brakes and all of those things that normally I'm not. I'm thinking about, do I look really cool?
Yeah.
But how long do you think, genuinely, to get from, and I'm not ashamed of this in any way, I am a beginner as far as this is concerned. It's how long to get from here to really looking forward to coming to a day like this and knowing that there's a bit of challenging car I'm going to have a go in. I'm 54, so if you say 30 years, I've had it.
No, I think it's about how much seat time you get. Yeah. I do think it would be a massive help to get you out on a dry track when it does stop raining in Britain, because you get to put a lot more force through the pedals. You can make more, you can be more blunt with it, and that way you get close to the limit faster. It's quite in an old car like this, it'd be very easy to go out, just spin off. And you know it, and it's expensive to fix
constantly. It wanted to. It's dynamically unstable. It wants to be in the weeds.
And you need the freedom to push and get it out. So I hope you'll get some dry running. And then if you do that and you get out and you do 4 good sessions, really a test day where you do loads of laps, you know, without worrying about cameras. Then you'll come out on rainy days like this and you feel, oh, okay, I'm comfortable. When it slides and kicks, you're ready for it. So what's going to happen? You've done this. You're going to do some more. It sounds like you want to do some more testing in this.
I want to do some more training. No, what I'm going to do is go back to the workshop, tell the lads the glad tidings that cog racing is back, but I'm going to do some of the driving.
Brilliant.
Not a lot of it, but I'm going to split the driving. But in order to do that, I'm kind of very aware. I'm going to have to learn a lot. I'm going to have to get some seat time. I'm going to have to get some more training if ever you're free.
Yeah, I'm around.
Wouldn't it be great to see if, let me do a bit of training and practice, and then let's go out in something, anything, doesn't matter what. And you, because you knew me before I had to go at this, and you'll know how I've changed and come on and how my driving's altered. That would be worth doing.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're up for it, I'd love to do it.
I'd love to do that. That'd be good. And I'd also recommend get on a sim, because if you want to go do a track day somewhere, you can do the simulator, and you then don't come to a new place like this, and it's not new anymore. So
I've never seen the value in that until today. And I thought I did think exactly that. If I'd sat at home with a little steering wheel and a set of pedals, I'd know what was coming up.
Yeah, get one in the workshop. It won't get competitive, I'm sure.
No, I'm not getting them a coffee machine, let alone a sim machine. Nothing will ever happen.
Sim machine.
No. They've got a box of spanners and some old cars to fix. That's all they can have.
To see how Richard gets on, click the link in the description below to watch the workshop show on Discovery Plus.